Hey everyone, and welcome to the third season of Unpacked, a podcast by Afar. I'm Aislinn, and as you can probably tell by this giant microphone in front of my face, I host the show. Every week on the podcast, we unpack a different tricky topic in travel, and this week is no exception. This is Unpacked. Well, it looks like a beautiful day. Where are you?
I am in Springdale, Arkansas, and we're right in front.
Okay.
I'll show you. We are
Yeah.
right in front of the Explore Scientific building.
Nice. That's so
Yeah, so
cool.
this is the Airstream, right?
Wow.
And it's called the Barber Jean.
Yeah.
I'm a Wally Byam club member. This thing has it has solar panels. It's got on-demand hot water heater, and it works really well.
But you must have been pretty comfortable those couple
Oh
of years
yeah,
you were on
yeah,
the
yeah,
road.
yeah, yeah. When I first got it,
Yeah.
somebody asked me, what does it feel like to you? And I go, well, I said, I'm going to sleep in the first night,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
at that time, it still had the original 1968 shag carpet. It had
Oh my gosh.
all of the attributes of the Airstream were original
Yeah.
at that time. The
Okay.
only thing that's still original right now are these little lights.
I love
Yeah.
it. All right. Well, I want to hear more of your Airstream stories for sure, but I was hoping we could start with what do you do? What's your job?
I am founder and president of a company called Explore Scientific. We do telescopes, microscopes, binoculars, optics for outdoor
Nice.
exploration.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a big interest in astronomy.
Yep.
I'm known for that field, and mostly what I do in astronomy for my own enjoyment is I like to do educational outreach in astronomy.
Got it.
So
Okay.
if things don't seem right in the world and I can't just go on a camping trip in my Airstream, I
Yeah.
I will go to a street corner with my telescope
Uh-huh.
and let people look at it and maybe get their first glimpse of Saturn's rings or see the moon for the first time.
Wow. How
And
cool.
uh, I'm always blown away by how many people have never seen
Yeah.
the rings of Saturn before for
Wow.
their own. They've
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
pictures of it and
Sure.
everything, and
But with your
they
own
see it for the
eyes.
first time with your own eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are struck by a couple of things. One is that they initially don't think it's real,
Okay.
okay? That they're
No,
really seeing the
no.
real live planet, and so they'll look around the front of the telescope and they're looking
Yeah.
for the slide or
No.
something I stuck in front of the telescope.
Uh,
And then I'll say, no, no, and I'll tap the telescope so it
yeah.
vibrates a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
and they can see the planet jiggling and they go, it's
Wow.
live. This is
Wow.
the real deal, and you're looking 900 million miles away. And that is something that just, I don't know why, but that number blows a lot of people away. They think,
Yeah.
wow, I'm seeing something 900 million miles away. But, seeing planets
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, we're looking at stuff literally in our own celestial backyard.
Have you always
Hmm.
been like fascinated by celestial events and bodies and things like that?
I have a pretty young memory.
Yeah.
My mother, Barbara Jean, this is the name of the Airstream, she was a Navy wife, and so we
Yeah.
lived on military bases and stuff. And we were living in, my mother tells me that it was a Quonset hut, those
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. Yes.
Airstream shaped
Yeah.
buildings,
Wow.
And I remember looking, I had my toys out on the kitchen floor
Yeah.
and I was looking out the screen door and I saw a bright light, but because it was going through a screen door,
Mm-hmm.
it made a diffraction spike. So you got like this cross, okay?
Yeah.
And I was fascinated by that. And,
Wow.
and I asked my mom what that was, and she said, oh, that's a star. I now realize that was probably Venus,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
To be
I
that
think I
bright.
was three
Yeah.
three
Okay.
years old at that
Wow.
time. So I had some interest in that, and so I was born in 1959,
Okay.
so I am space race baby,
Yeah.
and an Apollo era kid, and
Yeah.
all of that, and so always interested in the idea of exploring space.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a real fever about it until I was, well, certainly I always have, but by 10 years old, I want a telescope so bad. I mean, I'm pleading with my
Yeah.
parents to get me
Yeah.
one. And yeah, I got a little tiny telescope for Christmas. I was thrilled over it. And I thought that I wanted to become a photographer.
Okay.
So I built my own darkroom
Yeah.
and I started producing images, best I could. And then this got me really fascinated with optics and what they can do,
I
you know.
see. Yeah.
And so I start working in a camera store,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm starting to teach photography,
Yeah.
adult night school. This is in California.
Oh, yeah.
I'm then reintroduced to astronomy, but now on a
Yeah.
higher level,
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
and so we start selling telescopes for
Mm-hmm.
serious amateur astronomers, and this is just before Halley's Comet
Okay.
came around,
Yeah.
and so there was that comet fever that was
Mm-hmm.
going on, and I like to call it, and yeah, it was amazing, and I
Yeah.
get to meet during this time. I get to meet JPL scientists and
Wow.
professional astronomers and stuff,
Wow.
and I realized I walked into a community where the average person, because I was certainly just the average person,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
still am,
Yeah.
okay, still am, but I was very glad I made that turn
Mm-hmm.
to go and do something I love to do,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the kind of fever around the comet, and I feel like we have a similar
Yeah,
fever going on right now around this kind of coming solar eclipse. And so I was
that
curious
you
to
do.
know why you personally think eclipses are so fascinating.
Wow. uh, no one can tell you um, how amazing a total eclipse is,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You can see videos, you can see pictures, um, and the pictures are beautiful and the videos are amazing by themselves, but
Mm-hmm.
it is not as amazing as actually witnessing one,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's something that really strikes at your core,
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first total eclipse I saw, uh, I'm now at this time working I go beyond the camera store and I'm
Yeah.
working for a telescope company,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
manufacturer. And WGBH Boston, the guys that do the
Yeah.
NOVA presentation,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
contact me and they say, hey, we need equipment. They don't tell me who they are at first. They just say they need equipment because of the eclipse. And I
Yeah.
go, okay, well, this is the kind of equipment that you need and all the rest of it. And they said, well, we don't have anybody that can operate that. Can you do it? And I was like, well, I don't know, and they said something like, would you do it for a documentary? And I said,
Oh.
yeah. I said, that sounds interesting. And
Yeah.
I said, who is this? And he goes, oh, well, this is Nova from WGBH Boston. And I go,
Gosh.
I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sold.
I'm in. I'm sold. So we go to Hawaii, and we start getting set up, and we go to Mauna Kea. Now
Yeah.
Mauna Kea is at 14,000 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
and they gave us special privilege.
Mm-hmm.
We're from Nova. The National Geographic guys
Yeah.
are there, and basically a who's who of documentary filmmakers are on the mountain.
Wow.
So I'm getting everything set up, and this is part of a longer story. I'm not going to go into the
Yeah.
full details
Okay.
of it, but I stay up, I stay awake nonstop for 4 days, okay,
What?
doing this eclipse. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that you find out at 14,000 feet, because of lack of oxygen, it's
Yeah.
very difficult to sleep. Okay. This is probably what
Oh,
kills people. Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
You're
see. I
staying
see.
awake because you can't get rested
Yeah.
enough. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough oxygen in your blood to actually go to sleep. But when the eclipse finally arrives, I have everything all set up. I have trouble getting things set up.
Okay.
Maybe part of an exhaustion problem,
Yeah.
and there was some equipment issues that I had to overcome, which I did. And so, as the eclipse is starting to happen, the National Guard is protecting the observatory complex. They didn't want
Okay.
tourists to come up. The clouds had come up to the level where the clouds are actually covering up our lenses on our cameras.
Oh my
We have
gosh.
35 millimeter motion picture cameras, and
Yeah.
they cover it. Okay. And I'm going, no, like that. I actually stick my head up. I stand up and my head's above the cloud level.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
And I can see the sun is coming. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they have an open PA system, and they are counting down the minutes until what they call first contact. And they're doing it in multiple languages, because there was French
Okay.
teams and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
from Spain, and so
Wow.
it's simultaneously all these languages, and they're playing "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles. And I'm a huge Beatles fan anyway,
Yeah.
so
That sounds magical.
and plus it's very magical and almost hallucinogenic, because I have been awake
Yeah.
for
Away.
4 days. Okay.
Oh my God.
This is day 4, okay, and the eclipse is
Wow.
there. As the sun just gets a little bit higher, it warms up just enough, the clouds drop down to
Yeah.
about where my feet are, okay?
Okay.
And then they continue to keep dropping. And so the sun gets, you've seen these
Yeah.
sequences where the sun
Mm-hmm.
continues to get eaten up by the covering up by the moon, and then totality hits. And Aislinn, when you see this,
Mm-hmm.
you are completely, utterly unprepared for how you're going to feel for this. Okay.
Really?
And really,
Yeah.
and, I've seen beautiful comets. I've seen lots of
Yeah.
amazing stuff in the sky.
Yeah.
When this happened, I had this feeling of impending doom. Okay.
Oh,
Like there's
wow.
something very, very wrong. And
Yeah.
it was at that point that I realized that I could understand why armies dropped their weapons and ran. Okay. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Like, just get
so
away, hide. The
just
world
get
is ending.
high, because
Yeah.
it's ending right now. Something very, very wrong. The sun is gone,
Yeah.
so, right. But as it's happening, and this was a particularly long eclipse, like what we're going to experience
Yeah.
we're going down to Texas for this one.
Okay.
We got an over 4 minute long duration.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
For that particular eclipse, it was called the Great Eclipse, because by the time it got to Mexico, they had a 7 minute long duration. So it was just the
Wow.
geometry of the moon and the sun and the
Yeah.
earth and all the rest of that stuff. And you can conceptually understand this geometry, and you can learn it in school, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
you've done the math or whatever. But when you see it, it's like you can't believe it. Okay. You
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
believe it. And it affects people differently. But I've never
Okay.
heard anyone that's actually seen a total eclipse like, yeah, I saw a total eclipse. It was all right. I've never heard that.
Are some people like happier and more excited and others are more freaked out? Is that what you see in terms of the variety?
Um, when you're with a group,
Yeah.
what you hear are squeals of delight. Okay.
Yeah.
And people going, like, and gasping, like almost gasping for air.
Oh,
And
interesting.
they're like, you know, for all of them, if it's their first time, you certainly hear those things. But even the experienced, and there are
Yeah.
people that become addicted to eclipses, and this will be my 4th total eclipse
Okay.
that
I
I've
was going
gone
to
after.
ask.
As soon as it's over, you want to see another one. I mean, it's just like
Wow.
you can't get enough. You can't get
Wow.
enough
Why do
of
you?
it, and there are people who have seen many. So
Yeah. Yeah. And so it sounds like what makes this one coming in April unique is the duration of the. Are there
duration,
other?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
that's really.
there's several really special things about this eclipse. One is
Yeah.
is that it's going over a very populated area with easy road access to get to the
Mm.
center line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's going over the most populated areas of the United States,
Yeah.
and therefore it's going to be the greatest science event in human history. Okay.
Wow.
There will be millions of people watching this. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
And if you don't go and see this and you live in the USA, shame
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, well, it's almost like if you've never seen one,
This is
then
the.
you don't know what you're missing. And when you do see one, you go, wow, everybody should see this because it will change your perspective on life.
Wow. Do you think it makes people
Paradigm
feel
shift.
paradigm shift? In what way? Like, what do you think that is for folks?
Because suddenly you are realizing,
Yeah.
it's not conceptualizing anymore. You're realizing that you're on a
Yeah.
planet, okay? It's moving through space, all right? And
Yep.
something so amazing is happening in the sky that is beyond anything you've ever experienced ever,
Yeah.
okay?
Wow. Wow.
There's no light show or concert or I'm a father. I
Yeah.
rank the experience as to watching childbirth.
Wow.
It is
Wow.
that level of like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that awareness, we go about our lives and we're driving and working and eating and we're not really thinking about, unless you're you, perhaps, what is surrounding us, what
Well,
we're part of,
right. And that's, I'm not very, very special in that regard, but
Yeah.
when I wake up in the morning and I see the sun come, I don't think of it as the sun. I see it as a star. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
And we're very bright, we're very close to the star. And I see, this star is keeping everything alive here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's incredibly special.
Hmm.
And it's not just, wow, when you say stuff like that, if we were at a bar and I was telling you, yeah, the sun's special.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
I'd be
You'd be
like,
going, oh my
ah.
God, how can I get away from this guy?
I'd be like, I'm going to move down to this end of the bar. No, just kidding.
Exactly, exactly.
But I love that perspective, because I do not
Yeah.
think that way. But now I
No,
will.
no. You go outside and you think the sun is like a light so you can
Yeah.
see stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And now
basically.
it's dark and okay, it's bedtime or whatever, but so if I walk outside the Airstream right now, I can feel the warmth of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's from radiation and
Yeah.
the light is photons that I'm seeing
Yeah. Yeah.
being emanated from our star.
Yeah.
Well, all the stars that you see, it's the same thing, okay? Same process. And some people get really philosophical about this.
I'm
I've
sure.
heard the amateur astronomers go kind of
Yeah.
really down the
Real
rabbit
deep.
hole
Yeah.
on this, okay? Real deep. They'll say things like, well, you are now looking up and you're seeing the Andromeda galaxy. And one guy put it so eloquently, I don't know if I can do it, but he said that it's as if you were meant to see that starlight to hit your eyes,
Yeah.
okay?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's traveled across all this time. It's just for you. Those photons, those original
Uh-huh.
photons, those same photons aren't hitting other people. They're
Yeah.
going for you,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
You're seeing it and you're looking back into time all this time, you know? So there's kind of a time travel aspect
Mm-hmm.
to it. I'm really big on trying to connect people with the universe, you know?
Since we have this eclipse coming up and there's so many people who will watch, who will participate in a way that we
Yeah.
haven't had before, like, do you expect to kind of see that shift in a lot of people? At
Oh,
least
I do
know.
definitely. This
Yeah.
definitely happens. Yeah, because they experience something like that and they go, "Well, gosh, I want to do more of
Yeah.
this." They've experienced something and they want to kind of connect the dots for themselves
Yeah.
after they've
Yeah.
seen something like this. Is like, okay,
They have a
now what do
thirst.
you think about?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. A thirst, it's like a religious experience, or it's like they've been baptized or something,
Wow.
and
Wow.
now they want to talk about it, and you can see it in their face and in
Yeah.
their eyes that they have really witnessed something that is just awe-inspiring. They've got real awe going on
Yeah.
inside of them,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we use
and it's good for you.
it sounds like it's good. And I think we could use that just as kind of like a collective right now, something to unify us in that way.
Absolutely,
Wow. Well,
absolutely, because you get. It's interesting that you bring that up because we got so many issues
yeah.
in the world today, and people are being bombarded by
I know.
what's going on in the with the Hamas
Mm-hmm.
or the Ukraine
Yeah.
issue, and while it's true that all those things are happening,
Mm-hmm.
what's also true is that things that are on, I'm not going to say bordering on a miracle, because miraculous things are happening all the time, but
Yeah.
you're now so desensitized to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. This
You're
could be
trying
a.
to put everything in its nice little neat compartment and do your schedule and,
Uh-huh.
do all these things and make sure you fulfill all of your responsibilities and get your taxes done on time
Yeah.
and make sure that your child is being picked up from school and
Yeah.
all these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can train yourself to appreciate,
Hmm.
um, what is happening on a very immediate kind of level, and
Yeah.
and this is really sad because you are spending more time thinking about how you're different
Mm-hmm.
and how things out there are happening to you,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And so you feel very disconnected. And I think this is why people live like in almost a perpetual state of suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are going, yeah, it's a pretty good day. This happened and that person argued with me or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. You
Uh,
should be jumping up and down and going, I am alive.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Universe, I'm here and I'm alive
And the
and I'm
sun came up.
breathing this. The sun came up. Do you realize what that means?
I know. Oh my gosh. I gotta
Right?
put a post-it on my computer that says that. The sun came up. Don't complain about anything.
Anything. That's right.
Well,
That's right. And
I,
so,
I wonder if this eclipse will be a great awakening in some way. Like, I don't know. I don't know what
it will be.
you know.
It will be for some. It will.
Yeah.
Almost everyone that will see it and witness it will experience that amazing
Yeah.
awe.
Yeah.
We looked at a website called Eclipsophile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is where all the eclipse chasers they look at the what's called fractional cloud cover data.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eclipsophile has done an amazing job of collecting cloud cover data over the last 20 years
Oh, interesting.
over, you know,
Yeah.
I guess the world,
Yeah.
and so, um, and it turned out that for a 20-year average, that Texas, southern Texas, if you're going to stay in the United States,
Yeah.
has the best odds for clear weather.
Wow. Okay.
So
Got
that's
it.
the reason why everybody's going down to
Yeah.
Texas, right? So where we're going to be is we're going down to San Antonio,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
and then we're going to shoot across from San Antonio, going west,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of hours,
Okay.
out where a little town called Lakey, Texas is,
Yeah.
and we're going to be on a private ranch,
Wow.
and so my intention is to bring Barbara Jean, the vintage Airstream, down there. We'll have a Starlink internet
Amazing.
connection.
Uh-huh.
We have a person that does catering. They're coming out from Florida
Cool.
for this with their catering truck
Wow.
because they do star parties. They do
Oh,
astronomy events. So
what? You
they
could get a caterer
yeah,
for
they
a
know
star
what
party?
amateur astronomy.
Damn.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I know. It's going to be fun. And so, we're going to be out there and it's over the same spot where the annular eclipse of
Yeah.
2023 happened.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's literally over the same spot of ground.
Very
These two
cool.
eclipses are crossing. Okay. And so the people that attended that eclipse certainly are coming back for the total.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, where would you send
Right?
somebody if, like, for someone like me who's in this place where, okay, I don't know, I hadn't made plans yet. Where would you say?
I would tell you to come with me down to Texas.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Can I join
You're
your
going to be
ranch?
with,
Okay.
yes, you can join. You can join. There's still space. We're making it very affordable.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
to go.
Oh, so
All
wait, are
right.
you
So,
actually offering trips to travelers?
well, You have to get there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but
You have
like
to
once you
drive
get
there. But
there, people.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
Okay, got it. What is?
Yeah, so my company is called
Yeah.
explorescientific.com.
Okay.
And if you go to Explore Scientific, not
Yeah.
Explorer, but
Uh-huh.
explorescientific.com/eclipse,
Okay.
you're going to see something called the Crossroads of the Eclipses Star Party.
Oh, neat. Okay, I'll
And
take a
you
look.
click on that and you buy a ticket and you
Yeah.
can go.
All
Yeah,
right. Thanks.
yeah. And
So,
so, yeah, and so it's going. You're going to be in one of the best spots in the entire country to
yeah,
see it. Okay,
amazing.
and
Wow.
so
Okay, on a practical level, what do you need to
yeah,
view an eclipse? Like how do you get ready? Do you need gear? What's the best way to view
you
one?
you need these.
Okay.
Okay, these are eclipse glasses.
Uh-huh.
All right. So your first time to see an eclipse, most people that are eclipse chasers are going to say, look, for your first time,
Yeah.
and they always say the first time because they know it's not going to be your last
Yeah.
time. Okay. Right. Because once you see one, you're going to go,
We
I got to see
gotcha.
another one. I got you. Exactly. It's very addictive. It can be very expensive.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
had friends that have spent tens of thousands of dollars to go see an eclipse.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So it can be that expensive.
Yeah.
Just to be able to drive to one,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
is really rare.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you gotta go. You're gonna buy, I sell eclipse glasses as well, so you'll see all
Okay.
the things that you need. All
Mm-hmm.
right, but most eclipse chasers are going to tell you your first eclipse, you just need to see it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
don't
Don't
bring a
over
bunch of camera
prepare. Yeah,
gear.
yeah.
Don't over prepare because you're being that you've never done one and you have not seen it,
Yeah.
other people do it yet.
Yeah.
You're going to be inexperienced and you're going to concentrate too much on your gear trying to get
Mm-hmm.
the great photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later I do recommend that you do try to do that, but your first time,
Okay.
you need to go out and have very inexpensive eclipse glasses. You need to
Okay.
make sure that those eclipse glasses have this ISO rating on them.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And that they're safe for you.
Yep.
We are shortlisted on the American Astronomical Society's website, and that's the
Okay.
American Astronomical Society is the organization that all the professional astronomers belong to.
Yeah. Got
Okay,
it. Okay.
and so we're listed as a recommended place to get your eclipse glasses.
Great.
This involves us testing and making sure that these things are really safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so the way that you're going to use them,
Mm-hmm.
these things just kind of fold up. They're kind of creased here, so you're going to fold it like so.
Mm-hmm.
And you can download free apps for your phone to
Okay.
tell you when the first contact is going to happen and
Yeah.
when to
Yeah.
put on your eclipse glasses, etc.
Okay.
But if you're with a group like us, I'm going to say, okay, everybody put their eclipse glasses on,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to do that by looking down at the ground first. And then you're just going to move your head. You can feel the warmth of the sun on your face, so you can kind of, just by the feeling of that, you're going to see this ball, and you're going to go, oh wow, that's the sun. It's pretty big. I mean, it's not going to fill up your
Yeah.
field of view of the glasses, but you're going to say, okay, I
Yeah.
see that. It looks as big as the moon does.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so right in the
Uh-huh.
sky with the naked eye, and so. Yeah, and so, while things are going on, and there's a slow march of the sun getting more and more eaten up,
Yeah.
first contact, people say first contact,
Okay.
and you know that it's going to happen, but still it's a slow march.
Okay.
And so, you might look up at it for a while and go, okay, it's, about that much of it's eaten up, and, you drink some water or whatever and talk to your friends, and then you check again. Okay, more. Okay, now it's starting to get close to where,
Yeah.
you got the last remaining parts. At this point, everybody's like entranced. They're
Yeah.
watching this.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. And they see it and they go, wow, okay, there's like now a thin line. And you start to see like little tiny dots around the edge of the moon. And those are called Bailey's beads.
Oh.
It's the sunlight going between the mountains
Okay. Oh
on the
wow.
moon. Okay. It's
Wow.
really fascinating. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
and they do like a little twinkling dance, okay?
Cool.
And then all of a sudden, everything kind of goes dark because you're wearing eclipse glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people forget to take them off
Oh
at this
no.
point because they think they got to keep them
Yeah.
on the whole darn time, right? No,
But
at
once,
this time you pull them off
okay.
and you just look at it, okay?
Wow. Wow.
And now you're going to see this beautiful display of the corona,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
invisible to you all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but it is out there all the time too.
Yeah.
You might see prominences that look like giant flames leaping off the sun,
Wow.
okay? But like frozen, like in slow motion, these
Yeah.
arcs. And it doesn't get black
Mm.
now. It's like a really dark blue color in the sky.
Okay.
But you probably can pick out if there's some planets nearby, okay, and there will
Mm-hmm.
be Jupiter nearby.
Okay.
You'll probably see it, okay, with the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also going to be a comet next to Jupiter
Oh.
during this same time, but the comet will appear much fainter than the glow of the
Yeah.
sun,
I see.
so you probably won't see it naked eye.
Okay.
But it will be miraculous, and you will feel the temperature drop.
Oh
Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
right? And we're going to be in Texas, so there's a lot of birds and natural wildlife around us. These animals will feel like it's time to go to bed, okay, or to wake up if they're nocturnal,
Yeah.
okay, and they do so in a very short amount of time, in
Wow.
seconds, really.
So you
You
just get
know,
this
Yeah,
silence that comes.
yeah,
Mm.
yes, or you hear things that you would only hear at night,
Yeah.
okay,
Wow.
and so that is an effect, and there's something called shadow bands which also
Mm.
occur, and this is the interference of the sunlight interacting with our atmosphere and stuff. It's beautiful to watch,
Yeah.
um, and you're going to have 4 minutes of it, 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so
Mm.
from our Texas location. The further north you get, the shorter this gets, but
Okay.
still
Yeah.
you're going to have some minutes, okay, to watch it no matter where you are in the United States. If you got clear skies, uh, and then you will see something called. I talked about the Bailey's beads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually right after the eclipse, and sometimes at the beginning of an eclipse, you see something called the diamond ring effect.
Mm.
And it's the last bright shaft of sunlight that's coming off the edge of the moon, and it's just beautiful. Okay,
Wow.
and that's usually like the amazing finish
Yeah.
of an eclipse, and you just go, "Wow, what was that?" And now it's starting to get so bright that you got to
Yeah.
throw
Put your
your glasses
glasses.
back
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
You got to put them back on, and then you'll watch the final phases of it. But you will hear people squealing. You will see people crying.
Mm. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
that big of a deal. So I'm excited to see it
Yeah.
again, obviously, and really want you to see it.
I do
And
too.
yeah, yeah. So
Well,
because this is something you're going to remember really for the rest of your life.
amazing. Well, and you mentioned that you'll have Barbara Jean down there, your Airstream, and I just wanted to ask
Yes.
you a couple more questions going back to what you started with about your Airstream travels. Were
Yeah.
eclipses the reason that you decided to kind of buy this Airstream, hit the road? What was the
No.
inspiration for that?
No. I'm a telescope maker, okay,
Yeah,
and designer, and so I go to a number of astronomy events,
got it.
and wanted to I wanted to simplify my life.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so there was that desire, So, I was, I'd hit a point in my life where I just go, well, I don't really want all the stuff I've got, and so, I had a house full of stuff and shrunk everything down to where I could live in an Airstream,
Amazing.
and yeah, and so And that was a lot of fun. It was really a feeling of freedom, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
to be able
Wow.
to unload like that, and then to be able to travel and basically have your home with you all the
Yeah.
time, you know.
Wow.
So
And then
yeah,
how long did it take you to kind of outfit it? Because it sounds like you basically redid everything.
that did take a couple of years.
Yeah. Did
It
you do
did.
it as you were on
Yeah.
the road, or was that like kind of over
No,
time? No,
no, no,
you're
no.
okay.
No, I did pay for a guy to do it. It was my design, you
Yeah.
know,
Nice.
and so yeah, it ended up I hired a guy that through the guy who did the major work on the Airstream.
Yeah.
We hired a guy that did installs for luxury jets.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
so like if you
It is.
see like
Uh-huh. It's
this is
very
like
clean.
aluminum
Yeah.
wrapped around there and stuff, and it's curved. And
Uh-huh.
the Airstream is there's no every Airstream is unique, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and they all have their curves and stuff like that. And uh, so he built all these things, really custom cabinetry. Um, so I knew I wanted an expanded uh, bathroom.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wanted ample, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted ample counter space where I could lay out my computers and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This Airstream is daytime right now, but if it was night, I would show you that the lighting in here can go from white light to red light.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
And astronomers need red light to protect their night vision.
Got it.
So
Okay.
um, I have I have a microwave drawer, so it's kind of
Yeah.
everything's out of the way and stuff, and it slides out, and you know I
Love it.
can heat up coffee or hot chocolate or whatever, you know,
Cool.
and yeah, and so and all the cabinets and everything have locks like you would see on
Yeah.
um, you know on a boat.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I had
You,
friends that did boats for a long time, and you know, and the Airstream just as it's going down the road, it's I can't remember what they said. It's like a you know, level 5 earthquake the entire time as it's
yeah.
going down the road. So things break, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you got to be able to fix them and stuff. So, and I've had to fix things on this Airstream too, but
Oh,
for the most part, it's been a very rugged, reliable. This is a 50-year-old Airstream.
wow.
Okay,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, and it's really good enough for another 50 years.
Why were you drawn toward an Airstream, and why do you think people love them so
Okay,
much?
well,
That's
so this is my journey. This is my
yeah.
Airstream journey.
Okay.
I always admired the Airstream.
Yeah.
My mother, Barbara Jean, was kind of a gypsy. You know, she moved all the time.
Cool.
She would have loved this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, she would have loved it. You know, you wake up on the Florida Keys,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
watching the sunrise. You know, and you're getting a
Wow.
view that no one else has. Everybody talks about, you know, you're taking your home with you. You're going with a community that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and when you're pulling one of these things, it's not like, you know, you're pulling a trailer. It's like
Yeah.
you're pulling people see it and they go, wow, that's an Airstream. They something in their head kind of kicks off. It's like seeing a telescope. You imagine
Yeah.
the exploration that you're going to have in
Hmm.
space. Okay. When you see an Airstream going down the road, you imagine the adventure that you're going to have with your
Yeah.
Airstream, you know,
Yeah. It's so
and
funny.
people, yeah, it
It's
is
so
funny.
iconic
It
in a way
is.
that you don't usually react that way to just a regular RV, right? It's like, oh, okay, it's
No,
an RV, but
you're
an
not. No,
Airstream
you're
is
not going to
like,
stand.
yeah,
Yeah, you and your family are not going to do selfies in front
yeah,
of any trailer,
yes,
okay? But an Airstream, you're going to,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so that's what it's like.
I love it.
Yeah, and I have people stop me routinely and
Wow,
ask me about it and you know
amazing.
why I got an Airstream and how can I get one.
How many eclipses have you witnessed with Barbara Jean?
With Barbara Jean, uh, one,
So this will
and
be
that would have
two.
been the 2017 eclipse up in Casper, Wyoming. So
Cool. All right, awesome. And you
yeah,
still like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
often do you travel for like astronomy events with it now?
Well, you know, COVID put a big
Yeah,
damper
yeah.
on things, so
Oh,
there was a point where it was zero. Okay,
okay.
um, but it's ready to go again. There's some things that I want to fix,
Mm-hmm.
okay, on the Airstream now.
Yeah.
But provided everything's ship shape and ready to go, I'll be ready to take it for its next trip. So
Amazing.
down to Texas. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Sounds like it. Is there anything else you want to add about your Airstream adventures or your work or eclipses and why we should see them?
Uh, you definitely should see this total eclipse if you
Yeah.
live in the Americas,
Yeah.
or if you live in Mexico. If you're in Mexico watching this
Yeah.
or
Wow.
listening to this, Mexico is actually going to have better weather prospects than the United States will.
Good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's something to certainly check out.
Hmm.
Go and look at the eclipse websites that are out there. Go to star parties.
Hmm.
Get out there. Stop thinking about,
Yeah.
gosh, I really would like to have an Airstream one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And darn it, just go get one. Do it.
And go to a
Okay,
star party.
because and go to a star party or go to the national park or
Yeah.
do anything that you love to do,
Yeah.
because once you do it, you're going to go, wow, I do not know why I didn't do this before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know why I didn't take this trip before. I didn't go on the road before. I mean, the clock's
Hmm.
ticking.
Yeah. It's
You,
true.
you've got this miraculous time called life. Okay. And you're not going to be able to make these long trips all, when
Yeah.
you're 90. Okay. And, I think everybody should have a telescope. I think it's an essential piece
Yeah.
of exploring your universe. You have a universe that
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
explore on a personal level, right? And so, I think having a telescope, a microscope, and a pair of binoculars are essential for people that live on Earth. Okay, which is all of us.
Anyone who's made of stardust.
Anyone that's made of stardust and has atoms. Okay, enjoy it. Don't take things so seriously. All of those things. Because it will. I think if you do some of this stuff and you make
Yeah.
yourself happy, okay,
Yeah.
you're going to add some years to your life, and they're
Well,
going to be good ones.
you seem very happy.
I am. Take it in, wake up,
Yeah.
and start to understand, this pale blue dot that you live on.
Yeah.
You're very, very lucky to be alive. The conditions to create life are probably all over the universe. All right. But so far, we haven't found any other place where life exists except
Yeah.
here.
It's
Yeah.
a wonderful note to end on. Thank you. Really nice to meet you.
You too.
Thanks for showing
You
me
too.
your Airstream. Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, that was our show. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out, and I'll include a link to the podcast below.